Hello everybody and welcome back to Dyson Sphere program for another wonderful day out on the rim. We we got a little bit to do. So it's finally daytime for one. That's it's honestly a miracle. There's a few little housekeeping things I want to get to before we talk about what's in front of us over here and over here. We're gonna fly over to our graphene build real quick. By the way, I have added the blueprints for the steel and the sulfuric acid. I've fixed them all up. They've been added to the blueprint because we needed them on there. Okay, the biggest one was that the graphene, this machine was outputting into this machine, not onto the belt. That's been updated for the blueprint. Another big boy was the fact that I had these resources switched backwards. The water was coming in on the sides and not in the middle, and the refined oil was coming in on the middle. But since we need refined oil in such large quantities, this wasn't working on account of it not even making it halfway down the line before it was all getting eaten. So the refined oil needs to go on the outside edges if you're doing it like this, not on the inside line. Inside line is reserved for the least used item, which in this case is just water. Refined oil also cannot keep up because we're putting in one yellow line and taking out two yellow lines, so we need to upgrade this to the next level of belts, which we can't do yet because we haven't got the technology. So we're going to fly back over this way now, real quick. And we're going to drop down over here. I've limited the landfill. This was at recommendation of one of the commenters. Thank you. I was making way too much. We just don't need that much. So we have limited it to 5,000 so we don't use up all our steel. Like I said, steel has been blueprinted. And finally, there's one more blueprint to add to the family, and it is this one. Oh, I also added like a billion wind turbines. They are just literally... Okay, maybe not over there, but they're everywhere else. Okay, it's kind of obscene. They're just in every nook and cranny of this corner of this game. We're going to open up this, and I want to show you basic smelting silicon from stone. So the game does give you a recipe, a very primitive recipe, to turn silicon, which is, to turn stone, rather, into silicon, which is a much more rare resource. I think we can drop this down right over there. Very nice. And what this does is it takes 10 stone per second. Sorry, I'm wrong. It takes 10 stone every 10 seconds, yes, and gives you 1 silicon ore. It is ludicrously inefficient, both in terms of power and in terms of resource cost. It's just insane, actually, how expensive it is. But it does get you silicon, and we need a whole bunch of silicon so that we can start making a few things, including proliferators, which I've already crafted up a few of. We need to use them to make these planetary logistics stations because they require CPU cores. CPU cores require these microcrystalline components, these ones here, and those require silicon. So this is like a fundamental resource we have to have, so I've been crafting up a bunch of it. There's now, including this one, 3 of these plants on the world. There's another 2 over here, 1 over there, 1 over there. They're pretty straightforward. You feed them 3 yellow lanes of stone, and they produce about 3 silicon per second. It's ludicrously slow because this stuff it's 2 ore to 1 and it takes 2 seconds. It is, as you can see, I mean, this thing it's fully saturated. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's almost fully saturated, and it's already that slow. Okay, put the stone in there. It's 10 stone. I don't even think we can support 6 machines, to be completely honest. That one's making it through. Oh no, that one's making it through. That one's making it through. Okay, maybe you can just about support 6 machines per lane. But yes, it consumes it at a truly insane rate. Ouch. And the second furnace here is actually just to kind of pick up the slack for speed. You could just do this with 1 furnace. Alright, and then it goes into a storage box. Then, now we're going to talk, and of course it's nighttime. Wonderful. This game really needs lights. And then we've got this monstrosity over here. I have included a blueprint for this. It is under the LU's YouTube blueprints. Again, link in the description. Under Bootstrap Crafting, you got Tower in a Box. And the basic premise here is that in order to make these logistics towers, which I'll show you in a second, which allows us to distribute resources around the world, it looks sort of like a global infrastructure, it's really cool, and the drones that they use to distribute those resources, I don't want to have to build like an entire sort of manufacturing system for each one of these components, for the crystalline components, for the CPU cores, for the thrusters, for the pink boxes, for these green turbines, for the electromagnetic turbines. It's a huge hassle. And believe it or not, it is significantly easier to perform these tasks once you've actually gone ahead and unlocked the towers, because the towers make building these things incredibly modular. You can just stamp down as many of them as you need. Hence the towers. Okay, let's have a look at these things. They are gigantic. They look like this. You put them down. Alright, you plop down a tower. Ba-boom. Inside the tower, you have 4 things you can either request or store or send. So, for example, I think we could just do a quick example build of this. Let me grab some drones as well. Where is something we can just stick on a tower? Oh, you know what? We can do this silicon right here. You know what? Let's actually plumb up these ones because I want to do this anyway. So we'll fly over to our silicon. We're going to drop down over here. Is this the one that... Yeah, this one does not output. Is a mistake. This should output this. Well, it's not a mistake. It was intentional. I wanted to make sure we picked up everything. Yeah, we are now outputting at whatever rate is necessary. We're going to drop down our tower, let's say over... Let's put it over here. I want to run this belt into the tower, right? So now it's going to move everything on this belt into the tower's inventory. But you'll see in a second, let's just give it power as well, that this is going to stall out. It's not moving. We have to select a filter. We have to say, I want you to store high purity silicon. I want you to supply it to the network. We can also tell it to store it where things will not come and get it. It'll just kind of sit here. This is good for like intermediary products that you just want to pass through. Or you can demand, meaning that if there are silicon bars anywhere else on the planet, it will bring them here. Okay. In order to send and receive stuff, we have to give it drones. You can use right-click drag to select a specific number. I'm going to put 20 in here. It stacks to 50 max. And I'm going to say, because it's quite power intensive, don't fly unless you can fill a drone. I think the starting haul is 25, and then there's upgrades that get that all the way up to 100. Now we're going to move, well, it might be 50 actually, in hindsight. So now we're going to do the same thing. Now we've got silicon coming in there. Let's go ahead and pop this apart. We're going to change the way this moves slightly. We're going to come this way now. I'm going to plug that in. Let's plug in the inserters, or sorters rather. I will get better at that, I promise. And these, once again, like everything else in this game, the ports on this are ambidextrous, so you can put in and pull out from either side. It doesn't matter. There we go. That's going in. And build that. Thank you. And now we've got all of the silicon on the road. And this will stack to 5,000. You can limit the amount of storage you want. I'm just going to let... For supply things, I typically let it just fill up. You can pick up stuff in your inventory and drop it in. You can also pick up stuff from here with right-click and drop it out. Pick it up again, drop it in. Just that easy. Alright, you can put and store anything in here. Let's say I want to store belts for some insane reason. I can do that. Now belts are available on the network. And it becomes incredibly simple, very quickly, to modularize your network like you cannot believe. So, let's drop down a few more, because we're already producing stuff in a lot of places, right? Let's drop down a few more things. For example, towers, that is. If I want my towers to come over here, I'm going to put... I can fit it right there. I'm just going to have to move some stuff. They are very large, so it can be a bit of a challenge to fit them into your existing builds. Let's stick that... Oh, I see. This oil seep is in the way. Let's just bury that, I think. Excuse me. Thank you. Let's just bury that, and let's stick down our tower. Sorry about all the umming and ahhing, by the way. I am a little tired. Let's put these in. And again, nothing's happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, I want you to store and supply circuits and magnetic coils. Just like this. They will slowly trickle in from the machine. We can also just grab them directly from here and dump them in if we want to speed up that whole process. There you go. Now we want to take this stuff out. So what do we do? Well, it works just like the sorters. So we're going to click on the machine, and then we're going to tab to select our output. Voila! There we go. Now our circuits come through here, they bypass there, and they go out. Just that easy. We're going to hit tab here to move this. Alright, cool. Now it isn't really ideal to have your supply depots also supplying a industry. In fact, it's really not great because this will send these resources out to the world, like at large, you know, to go ahead and and collect. And maybe if we want to use these coils somewhere else, it will take them from here. So that's not great. So what we actually want to do for something like coils is have a dedicated build, but for now we're just going to leave it like this. It could mean eventually that you end up using all these coils that were meant for science somewhere else, and then this gets done. So you can just, choose not to put dedicated builds like this on the network, but since we're early on, I'm going to be doing stuff like that. Alright, anyway, that's enough of that. This silicon here is now making a lot for us. In fact, why don't we do something a little bit similar to what we've been doing? And let's get these on the network as well. And what we can do with that is actually just run this one, since we've got this tower all the way over here already. we could just run a belt straight in there and tell this thing to also store and supply silicon. And now anything that this build produces will get put on that network. It's just that easy. Alright, but I am getting a little bit ahead of myself. I wanted to go to another planet today, and I'm not going to deprive you of that joy. We are going to build these boys here, but it does take quite a lot of titanium. It's 40 ingots per. I've basically gone around the entire planet and dug up all of the large rocks I could find, ones like this one. I think I left that one behind to demonstrate. And so we managed to pull up about 1,000 titanium total. About. Maybe a bit less. But there you go. These big rocks always have titanium. There are larger ones, like this one over here, which have a smaller percentage chance to give you, I think it's either titanium or silicon ore. Oh, can we drop down? Thank you. Go ahead and mine it. Either one of these might have. Let's have a look. This might, it can also just be stone. There's some more titanium. And that one was just stone, yeah. But the big ones have like a guaranteed titanium drop. So I've just been going around and finding those. I've also sort of pulled up every single yellow tree on the planet. We've got ourselves 331 of these organic crystals and a whole bunch of other random crap. This kimberlite ore is like a weird intermediary product. We're not going to worry about that. Titanium ore goes in here, gets turned into titanium plates. That gets fed into this machine. The machine outputs to this one. The machine requires these purple boys. The purple boys are made out of copper, graphene, and these green turbines. So those are all fed in through chests. The green turbines are made out of electronic... What are these things called? Electric motors and magnetic coils. So you can see this makes the motors with the coils. The coils go in there. The motors go in here. The motors go in there. It all just flows together. If you pop this down, you'll be able to work out what you've got to do. This one is copper to each of these three. Silicon to these two. CPU cores are fed by these two machines, this one, and this electronics box. The CPU cores go into this one, they stack to 120, and into this one, where they stack to 6. In fact, what are we missing here? We are missing iron, so if you run out of a resource, it's very hands-on. It really is just a bootstrap thing to get you started. If we run out of iron, we just run over here, pick up some more iron, we fly back over, throw that in the box, and boom, we are now making more of these. It is just that easy. I also just noticed that this was not actually connected. That's on me. My bad. There we go. Now that's flowing. Is everybody else connected up here? Yeah, it's a little hard to see sometimes with these different grids, but I think that's enough talking. Let's make sure I've got everything I need for a voyage to the stars, and we're going to head over to another planet and set up shop. So we're going to want thermal power plants for sure. We're going to want a lot of wind turbines to get us started over there. Thank you. We're going to want... What else? What else are we going to need here? We won't need oil. That's only on organic planets like this one, and nothing else in our solar system is organic. We will take a ton of mining machines. Let's grab a ton of foundries. Let's grab a couple more of these. Let's grab a whole lot of this. Let's grab a couple of those. Let's grab a couple hundred more of these. And let's grab as many of those as I can still fit. Okay, we got 2,700 belts. That might not be enough. We've got a bunch of foundation. Let me just get rid of a stack. Hold on. Let me just... I'm just going to flatten this. Whoops, I flattened a little more than that. Oh well. C'est la vie. Let's just try and finish this carefully. We are eventually going to pave the whole planet, so this isn't wasting. It's just kind of wasting for now. Cool. And give me another couple stacks of belts. Alright, let's head over to the dang stars. And the goal here is going to be to find something to mine up into titanium. Come on, and silicon plates, so we don't have to rely on these ridiculously inefficient processes. Alright, so just by holding spacebar and looking up, we have entered orbit. Well, not really orbit. It's a bit too small for orbits, I think. The solar scale, anyway. Oh, you'll notice that the names have changed. We are now flying towards Bo 82. Our home planet is Alpha. Our gas giant is Weber. And all the way down there in the distance is Ananas. These are named after channel members and patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support. As we discover more celestial bodies, I will add more people. I've just been going down the list of, like, you know, who's subscribed at the highest rates, and then they get first priority, you know, I think for obvious reasons. And then as we move down the list, I will add people. People who've been subscribed for longer, I think. Oh my god, there's fire ice on here? Dude, this is the resource. Thank you. We have landed on a new planet. This is the resource that gives you graphene. Let's have a quick look at Bo 82 here. 11 million silicon. 2.8 million titanium. This is a good place to start. Another option we can go to is this planet over here, Ananas. This is a frozen tundra planet with 10 million titanium. So it's basically the inverse of Bow 82. But we're going to work with Bow 82 for now, just literally because it's like a short flight from home. Makes currying stuff back and forth much simpler. Let's go ahead and... oh, there's titanium and silicon right here. Looks like we know where we're getting started. I'm going to very quickly put all of this into some smelters, and I'll be right back. Alright, there it is. We have our very first refinery on this planet. The wind turbines here have 40% strength. This is not the right planet for them. We're going to want to switch over to solar ASAP. Turns out, this is one of the ingredients in that, is these silicon plates right here. Solar is made up of 10 copper, 10 silicon, 5 electronic circuits. So in order to do our solar, we're going to have to make copper and electronic circuits on this planet as well. We've also got fire ice. I'm currently just burning it for fuel because I'm I'm a bit stupid and forgot to bring additional fuel with me. But you know what? This is going to have to just work for now. It's not a great fuel source if you're interested. It's very similar to kind of refined oil, I guess. 40% buff and 4.8 megajoules of energy behind it. But I did notice that there is actually a copper node, not copper, sorry, a coal node all the way over here. And we did bring a lot of those, what are they called? Geothermal plants? Nope, they're the ones, thermal power plants. Just like, you know, the coal parts that we can use to burn it. I don't want to burn the fire ice, that's a huge waste. I think I'd rather use it for graphene. Let's just break this down. 160,000, this will keep us going until we can get solar up and running. So let's go ahead and slap down a few of these. And by a few, I mean like a few dozen. We are going to want to refine this, so let's put down a refinery. I love how easy life gets once you blueprinted things. There we go. And I do actually want to make an intermediary version of this, which uses the greens, not these useless little yellows. So let's actually make that and blueprint it, I think. We'll call it like intermediary. And I don't want to do belts or facilities, just sorters and sorters. There we go, and I'm actually going to blueprint that just like this, and we'll call that, that's the wrong item. We'll call that intermediary smelting. Call that intermediate smelts. There we go. And that's going to be intermediate, hold on, mediate smelts. Nice. Save that blueprint. I'll stick it in the... you guys know how this works by now. They'll end up in the blueprint book and on the Google Drive by the end of today. The Google Drive, once again, will remain fairly ahead of the series as a whole, just because I record these in groups, and so it will just by sort of nature always be put up slightly before the episode actually comes out. All right, and let's link this all up. Alright, our thermal plants are set up. They pretty much span about a quarter of the planet. A weird glitch with the... not a glitch, a sort of a weird idiosyncrasy with the way the grid is laid out on this world means that I can't actually stack them this high up towards the poles. But it kind of looks even cooler, I think, having them sort of literally wrap around over the horizon. Like some kind of nightmare climate change snake. But we are actually quite in luck. There is copper and iron really close together here, and a bunch of silicon. Everything we need to make our solar panels. So I'm going to go ahead and get these mined up and smelted. And I will snap back with you guys once we're actually producing all the ingredients we need. I'll also put down some circuits. Just because we've seen it all before, I think I might time-lapse it. Okay, that is all the smelting we need for the 3 resources. I tried doubling up the smelters here. I'm interested to see if this can actually keep up, because this is technically... the smelter is a bit different. It's 2 ore every 2 seconds, which means it's 1 ore every second, right? To make half a plate. So to make 6 plates, surely we would need 12 of these? But I don't know if the belt can keep up. It doesn't look like it can. If it makes it past this point, once they've buffered, then that's kind of our answer, right? Then we know for sure that it will work. But I'm not sure if it's going to. I think it's going to get stuck here. And if that is the case, then of course I will pull up the extra infrastructure. And no, it doesn't look like we're ever going to quite make it past here. Okay, so clearly my maths is wrong. Big surprise there. I'm sure everyone is astonished at the fact. I mean, that definitely hasn't happened every single episode of this series. Math's not my strong suit. I do like the game, though. Game's cool. Maths hurts brain a lot, many times. Ow, ow. Okay, there we go. The smelting is done. All of the copper, iron, and silicon are smelted, put in boxes, put on belts, and sent over here. You've seen all of this before. There's nothing fancy. We're going to now turn this into solar panels, and this is where we're going to design our very first 3-in, 1-out factory. So, and in fact, do we have a tower with us? No, we'll have to go get one. But we can't even build this around towers. Maybe we won't right now. I think we might expand that in the future. But this is going to be our 3-in, 1-out factory. So, if we want to make a solar panel, if we have a look over here, and this can make anything with 3 ingredients, 1 output, right? So, every 6 seconds, we'll consume 10 copper ingots, 10 silicon, and 5 circuits, right? We need to make the circuits first, so let's do that. I'm going to have to clear a bit of space here. Sorry, wind turbines. You are gone. Also, I noticed these gigantic rocks, these ones here, they provide just a truly insane amount of resources when you pick them up. Have a look at this. 65 titanium ore in one chunk. Where were you when I was looking? Boy, so rude. Anyway, let's drop down the 2-in-1 that we made before. Basic assembling, 2-in-1 out, basic. The only thing we don't have, of course, is the inserters, but we'll just upgrade those to intermediary ones. Let's pop that down over there. And I will do what I did before, upgrade the sorters, get that onto grid. Give me a plop there. There. There, we don't want to accidentally make the Mark 3s. That's the danger here. Are those Mark 3s? Mark 2, Mark 2, Mark 2. Okay, cool. Great. Now, this is going to make our circuits in quite large quantities, 6 per second, give or take. In fact, it might be even more than that, just because of the fact that these circuits produce 2 per second. There we go. In fact, I think this might be a bit overkill, but you know what? Better to overbuild than under, I always say. And we are going to use a splitter to handle this, because the belts that we've got are limited at the moment. As in, like, we don't have that many belts available to us, so I want to use... probably didn't need to use a vertical splitter for this, but whatever. We'll just come down like that. And the same's going to go for the bottom rung here. You're going to come in like this. Just to there. Give me another splitter. I really like these vertical ones because you can stack them a lot closer than the others. Put that in there. Number 2 at the bottom. Let's go, and number 1 on top. Ah, see a problem. Do it like that. Perfect. Little janky, but it works. Okay, and circuits are flying out like you've never seen them before. Give me a buffer. This is just good practice. There we go. You guys know how we do these by now. 2 in. I've realized that the 3 in, 3 out is just completely unnecessary. 2 is enough to move what we need. Okay. Cool. That is that. Now to build our solar panels. So it's going to be a similar build to this. We need to have 3 items in, 1 item out. So let's build our initial line here. I'm actually realizing now, for the iron, I don't need to split it. I don't know why I'm doing that, because we actually have the second iron line is for this purpose. We don't need to make anything else with it right now. There you go. Solar panels don't need it. Okay, perfect. As I was saying, we're going to grab this. We're going to slap down. I think we'll just do it over here for now. Give me 6 of these. Now, we need to plan this. So you're going to make me some solar... no. Well, I mean, that would work with that recipe too, but you're going to make me solar panels. We need to take in circuits the least. So they will be on the quote-unquote shared side of things. So this is going to be the shared output, right? This is going to be a shared input, not shared input, not shared. We could do... No, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. So we'll have 2 dedicated inside inputs. So that's going to come, let's just do our universal designations. That doesn't need to go beyond that, like that. In fact, you know what, let's trim it back a little bit more. And then I want you to go 2 past. I like to just sort of keep this fairly consistent. Oh my god, I'm out of power, is what I would say if I didn't have a bunch of fire ice right here. Really shouldn't be burning that, but you know what? It is what it is. Okay, we're going to want to power these things. You're going to look like that. That's looking great. This is my output, so it can look like so. Alright, and then this is how this is going to work. So you're going to be solar panels as well. We are going to need 2 more lines. One here, which is an input. We'll bring that a bit further down, just to denote that this is an input. Very cool. And then, okay, we're going to take in. We're going to take out here, out to there, which means we can take in here, right? Makes sense to me. We should actually do 2. Yeah, no. I am mistake. We should do it a bit differently. Okay, so the output here, solar panels are a bit weird in that they have 2 things that require large amounts in the same quantity. Most stuff will have 1 item that requires a lot. So I think what we're actually going to want to do here is we'll put, let's say for example, at this point, we'll put silicon on the outer run here. So we can actually run this back quite a bit. Saves us a few belts. I am actually running a little low. Plug that in. Don't plug it in yet though, just get it close. Plug you into there. Alright, so silicon will be on the outside. Perfect. Then we'll have copper on the inside. Copper can come in on... We're going to have to do like a weird little weave here. Yeah, we're going to have to drop in, come through, stand up, drop in. Come forward a little bit more. Drop down. There we go. We're weaving belts like a damn... like a damn weaver, I guess. Okay, drop that over there. And then this input is going to be for electronic circuits, so let's grab those. Probably should have run them backwards now that I'm looking at it, but it's okay. Yeah, you're going to come this way, this way. This is made so much easier with the logistic stations, but we don't have enough of them yet. That's what the point of this trip is. We're about to have enough. I just need to sort out power on this planet first. Plus, having solar available elsewhere is going to be super useful, so building a dedicated plant just kind of makes sense. Okay, I've got everything laid out the way we're going to do it. This is how we're going to build our 3-in, 1-out assemblers. So basically, we need 3 lanes of items in and 1 lane of item out. Now, you can't, unfortunately, take 2 different items on the inside. There isn't enough space to both take to both take resources and output resources. You can only do 1 line of input, 1 line of output, or 2 lines of input. It doesn't work the other way around, unfortunately. It's a little frustrating, actually. But it is what it is. That's just how math be sometimes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in from... So this will be the silicon in. In fact, let's plug it in so we can see it working. This will be silicon in over here. And this will be circuits in on the outside. Silicon close to the machine because we need more of it. Circuits further away because we need less of them. Same on this side. We're going to plug in that. We're going to plug in that. Alright, this will be the machines will function the same regardless of what the inputs are. Because the most important thing is the item you need more of needs to be closer to the machine, right? Then over here, we're going to have the input for our copper. And then we're going to have the output for the solar panel. Then we're going to have the input for the copper and the output for the solar panel. And we're going to run this over here, run this over here, and voila, it begins working. Just like that. So let's stamp down a bunch more of these. Oh, I need to move, I think I need to move everything 1 more tile up. Those inserters are getting weird, just because I think it's because we're building not quite equatorial, which, you know what, it happens. It happens. It's not ideal, but soon, once we have the towers, this will be an issue of the past. And we can pop down our power towers. That doesn't go there. That goes there and there. Voila, and we are making solar panels. I'm going to blueprint this. We're going to call this 3 in, 1 out. And we'll put our yellow assembler there. Save that, paste that, save blueprints. And as you know, that will be in the book shortly. Okay, cool. 3 in, 1 out, done. Solar panels getting cooked up. Looks like we're really struggling with copper. That's not surprising, as half of this is actually being used for these circuits. This is not an ideal situation. I do need to bring in another line. But for now, that's just going to have to do it. Yeah, that really isn't ideal. We're going to have, like, 9 machines instead of 12 running, but oh well. Once this backs up, if this backs up, let's make that easier for that to back up. We don't need that much of a buffer, to be honest. Yeah, once that backs up, now we should see this fill out more, I think. Clearly I am wrong. Oh, that's because we're still consuming. Yeah, okay. Once that backs up, then this will back up, then the copper will flow. But that's not really a solution. We need to bring in more copper to finish this. But okay, let's go ahead and then stick our solar panels in a box. And we've got a bunch of solar panels. That's a nice thing to have just sort of lying around. But that isn't really the goal for today. The goal for today... how many do I... You know what? I think I'm going to allow this to just make... It's a lot of silicon, though, isn't it? Is this a silicon planet? This is the silicon planet? You know what? Go ham. Make me 1,000,000 frickin' solar panels, dude. Keep it going. Just keep it going. Alright, also I can drop off all the extra crud I've picked up. I'm actually going to pick up and destroy the stone. Don't really need it. Just recycle that. What are we missing? There's some iron plates on the floor. Don't care. Okay, cool. Let's also... Where is my power plant? I want to go pick up some more refined graphite. Or energetic graphite, rather. And then we can stamp down some solar panels as well. Make this planet into something respectable. Okay, it looks like depending on power demand, this thing can't really make it. That's completely fine. It's meant to just sort of supplement the grid, not actually replace it. That's sort of like our... This is our Holy Mary. Well, I suppose the wind turbines are like our Hail Mary. Everything's gone to shit. At least they turn. You know, it'll keep a few lights on over there. But that's really meant to just kind of keep us going until we can get the solar panels functioning. And it looks like we now have those working. Yep, we already have 167. So let's go lay these down. And I'm going to show you guys the optimal way I found to do this. And basically, you fly to the equator, wherever that is on your planet. You look for the central equator line. And you start walking. And you just start walking. Just like this. Because as long as you're on the... If you wrap the entire planet in a belt of these things, you will always have power at all times of the day, because it doesn't matter which side of the planet is in night or daytime, you've got power. We do need to make batteries as well, but they're a little bit more involved than the actual solar panels themselves. Because they're like both a resource and a building. The game has a very interesting way of power distribution, which I'm really excited to get into. Okay, we've managed to plop down, or I don't even know, 150 times 300. You guys can do the maths on that one. What's probably like 45 megawatts worth of power, give or take. Pretty good. I'm okay with that, actually. I think that's a decent number. But I do now want to... Now that we've got silicon and titanium producing in, like, really reasonable amounts, I think we need to head back home and bring some of these solar panels with us. Actually, am I going to bother with solar back home? I don't think I'm going to. I don't think we need solar back home. I think for now what I'm going to do is continue putting them down here. We just need to quickly recharge. I am a little flat. I'm going to continue wrapping the solar belt around this planet. Then I'm going to head home. We're going to do a little more admin over there. And then I think we're going to get into the beginnings of yellow science. In fact, let's get that queued up. We need high-strength crystal. And then we need structure matrix. And we're also going to need crystal smelting, which is somewhere here. Have I picked it up already? I might have already picked it up. Crystal smelting. Crystal smelting. Smelting crystals. No one knows. Crystal smelting! There it is. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's diamonds and crystal silicon. And I also want to get into the proliferators today. We've got a few of these things made, the spray coaters, and we're going to start making all of this goodness. And now that we've got the drone towers, I think it'll be quite a bit simpler than it would have been before to get that all done. Okay, our solar ribbon goes around pretty much the entire planet, looking very cool. We're going to fly back, actually drop off everything, and I realized I want to take back a ton of titanium and silicon with me. I think I'm going to do titanium first, because we need that to make our science. There we go, high-strength crystal, that's exactly the thing that needs it. And then we can also use that to make more drones, and I think we're going to start getting into drones today. Even though maybe it's a bit early, I think it's better to get started on it than it is to kind of wait longer than you actually need to. And we're so close to the base. It's right over there. We can just fly back and forth with fairly little trouble. First, though, recharge me. I'm once again out of power. I am once again asking for your electricity. Alright, give me an inventory full of silicon. As much as we can take. I'm just going to delete that. What else can I get rid of here that I don't care about? Delete those. Delete those. Delete those. Delete those. And the rest of it's kind of expensive. Okay, cool. So we're going to just clear the floor of that, pick up the rest of that silicon. Awesome. And then how we're going to take the titanium is a little sneaky. We're going to grab like this. We pick it up like this. You can hold it over your cursor. It's kind of cool. So we can grab several stacks, just like this. And we can go dump that at home. Alright, so we're carrying 20,000 in our pocket. Let's take off and go find our planet. I have a feeling we're on the dark side of the... Oh no, are we on the other side of the gas giant? No, there we are. Okay, okay, Alpha's right over there. Boom! Hit the ground running. Oh, and I spilt it all on the floor. Whoopsie. I was about to say I should have built storage before I did that. Whoopsie, that's on me, that's on me. I think what we're going to do is fly over here. We're going to grab some storage boxes. I just dumped it all on the damn floor. Whoops. Big whoops. Give me a stack of these. Thank you. Again, I'm just holding these in my cursor. And we're just going to put down what we just picked up. Just like this. Ignore the, ignore these things. Okay, silicon can go in there. Start vacuuming this stuff up. Okay, cool. Everything's picked up. That makes life a bit easier. We can also stick our titanium ore in... Was it this one? Yeah, there you go. That'll smelt it up over time. Not that we need to worry about that. We are now pumping these things out like crazy, which is really good. We can actually put all that silicon we just brought into this box to be turned into towers. That's awesome. What are we shy on here? What are we running out of? We've run out of copper. Of all things, copper. There we go. Now that we have titanium on the planet, though, we can start doing some really cool things. First thing I think I'm going to do with my new towers is make a hydrogen fuel rod tower. Also, the very cool thing about towers, you guys are going to love this, you can access them from anywhere on the planet. Just by looking at them, you can click on them, and you can access their inventory from the map screen. This is probably my favorite thing about them, is it means that suddenly your entire planet's inventory is accessible just by one click. How cool is that? Okay, and we have researched yellow science. This is going to be trivial with the way it goes down, but I don't want to overextend these episodes. They are running a little bit long sometimes. So there's a couple things I want to do before we do yellow science today, and that's going to be to make the stuff that makes towers so that we can make towers more easily in the future. Starting that off, what I want to do is we're going to put down a tower right over here. This tower is going to be... Yeah, in fact, then we can actually go ahead and cut off this one. And then this tower can continue to supply silicon, but I don't actually want it to go there because I'm going to put a tower over here. This tower is going to make us a whole bunch of different things. I think this one... Let's start it off with this and with this. And then we're just going to run this back. Alright, and the titanium we bring in here, we're just going to run into there as well. Same as before. And we're just going to do it like this. This is a very silly way to do it, but you know what? It will work. Get your plug in. Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to pick up these crates. We don't need them. This is just to move it over time. Okay, but like I said, I want this tower to help us make other towers. We're going to need quite a few towers to help us make other towers, actually, and so we're going to need a bit more land. Let's go ahead and clean out all of these. Towers making towers, man. They said it couldn't be done. They said it shouldn't be done. And as you know by now, they were probably right. Okay, I've actually thought about it, and we're going to go too far over time if I go into what I want to go into with the tower production. So instead, what we're going to do today, it also is realize that we don't have power on one of those poles. What we're going to do today is just make ourselves a better fuel source, because I am sick and tired of seeing energetic graphite anywhere near me. So we're going to be making these things, hydrogen fuel rods. I like to put the output item at the bottom. We're going to be supplying silicon just because it's coming in here. We're going to be supplying titanium for now because it's coming out of these storages, but I think ultimately this will probably switch to demand, and we're going to demand some hydrogen. I don't want to store 5,000 of these things, that's insane. I think 400 is probably fine. We can even make it 600 because that way we can... Oh, you know, let's call it 1,000 because it is just titanium and hydrogen. That would be 1,000 titanium we're using up for this. I think that's fine. And I'm going to store up like... We'll store up like 4,000 hydrogen. No, let's store up like 2,000 hydrogen in here. That way we can make... this takes 20, right? Is it 20 hydrogen? Yeah, so we can make 200 units, which means we would technically only need 200 titanium, but since we're supplying it, not demanding it here, yeah, it's getting complicated, but you get the idea. Alright, so we're going to put this over there, max out the drones. Always max out the drones, people. It's a good idea. That way, otherwise they'll transport one thing at a time, but they use the same amount of power. It's really annoying. Okay, we got the drones. Now we want to build up our little factory for this. So I want this thing to make, I think just 6 of these will be fine. We're going to have, let's run this titanium up slightly. Titanium's going to come in there. And then titanium's going to come out here on the sides. Come out here on the sides. We're going to bring out the hydrogen once we have it. We still have to put that on the network. We're going to bring out the hydrogen here once we have it. And then we're going to send these things back into the network. And you don't actually need hydrogen fuel rods on the network. It's just that way I can access it from space. Just like this. It's just super useful. Alright, cool. That's all working. Let's run this in here. And you can already see how much easier these things make building stuff in this game. It is almost trivial at this point. I put that in. You basically just got to figure out the right combination of inputs and outputs and set up all the settings, but they kind of build themselves after a while. Alright, you're going to make fuel rods. You are going to make fuel rods. These ones here, thank you. You're going to make fuel rods. We're going to paste, paste. We're going to paste, paste. Lovely. Alright. Now, we need to go get our hydrogen on the network. So, we've got a whole bunch of hydrogen, just so happens, up over here that we're not doing much with. Where's my red science? I've lost it. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, that hydrogen is full, full, full. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down right here. We're going to plop down a tower. And this is actually a good spot to put energetic graphite on the network as well. So let's do just that. I'm going to pick up all of these. I'll burn that for now. Why not? I want you to supply hydrogen, and I want you to supply energetic graphite. We're going to run this through here like that. Run this through there like that. We can run an extra line in from here. Why not? And we're going to output hydrogen right over there. We're going to output energetic graphite right over there. One line in, one line out. You know what? Let's run a few more lines in. I don't see anything wrong with doing this. It'll just really speed up our input. I'd like to get this line on the network as well. So what I'm going to do, it's a little sneaky. I'm going to put you up a tier. I'm going to drop you down a tier. Put you back one, sorry. Drop you down a tier like that. You going in? You are. You're going to get a splitter. Plug you in, and run that in as well. Okay, very cool. And then what we really should do is then run this back again. That is working, right? Yeah, okay. And then we'll just have to move this one up a bit so we can fit them together. Perfection. Okay, very nice. Let's get this thing charging. We're going to give him a full stack of drones, even though they're a limited resource right now. Set you to 100%. You are supplying. The other one is not demanding. That's my mistake. Let's head back over there. Oh, wait, what am I doing? We don't have to head back over there. We can do it from the world map. I want you to now demand. Oh, there we go. And here come the drones. They are popping out of the tower. They are carrying their resource. Drones will both leave from where they are stored and from where they are requested, depending on which one has the goods. Oh, man, look at this. Look at this. Oh, that's cool. Okay, and the game really begins now. I'm pretty proud we got to this on episode 4. I didn't want to be on like episode 10 and only starting with towers, so we have been speeding through a bit. The pace is going to keep up. We are going to be building everything we need in order to build more towers tomorrow. I'm not convinced yet that we will actually get to Yellow Science. That might be episode 6, but this is looking great. Planetary logistics, our first trip of 302 meters is complete, and as you can see, we are now depositing glorious, glorious hydrogen in here, and it is being placed into the machines, which are slowly starting to cook up some hydrogen fuel rods. Already we've got 4. Again, you just sort of right-click and drag to pick up the storage, just like that. And these things are amazing fuel. 54 megajoules of storage compared to 6.5 at 200% generation speed compared to 50. This is an enormous upgrade. I'm going to burn through everything I've got on me just because I'm frugal. But other than that, we will soon have hydrogen fuel rods available to us whenever we want them. Alright guys, but that is all we have time for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Soon the skies of Alpha are going to be completely and utterly covered in drones, and it's going to look super, super cool and completely destroy the frame rate. I will see you all in the next one. Well, let's fly with them. Cheers. And of course, a huge thank you to the channel members and patrons for this month: Kelly Ananas, Call Me Bo82, Old Man Tater, Freaking Friendly Beaver, Knee Cruncher, Riley David, Ribo, Charlie Weber, Mermix, Officer C4, Not K Arthur, Adachi Fanboy, Couch Potato, LCG Canyon Sahar, Jack Smallman, Cut Beef Goham, I'm Alpha, you're damn right I am, The Senate, and Richard Berry. Thank you guys so much for the support. You are all amazing.